Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, Pimp Sun Kids, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, with a part 2 for the solar eclipse in Aries, taking place on April 8th. And this particular portion will be focused on why are people fear mongering, honey. There have been a lot of posts, a lot of reports, a lot of talks concerning people closing schools, people encouraging others to bulk buy, people talking about demons and carrying on, being evoked from the eclipse and all this, that, and the third. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the specificities of this layout. So starting off, I'm going to ask the question one more again. It's a question that I asked to get these cards. Why are people fear-mongering? And the first card we have to come out is the Three of Cups in reverse. So there are some people spewing misinformation with the intent to cause discourse, to break up some friendships, to break up some connection, and to essentially cause division amongst communities. So there are some media outlets that are doing things, saying things to cause community division, to have everybody arguing and debating and turning on each other to distract from something else that may be going on. And this seems to be political, and this also seems to concern legal matters, okay? Now, that's simply stated, and really in order to elaborate upon it, then we have to move over to the Emperor, which is sideways, because not only are there people intending to cause division amongst friendships, relationships, connections, things of that nature, there's also an intent to cause people to question certain elements of authority, certain people in authority. There are some people, so I'm picking up, there are people who work in certain places. So you may have a law job, certain people that have other corporate jobs, things of that nature. You tend to have an extensive chain of command. So you may have a director, a manager, things of that nature, multiple people that are in positions of authority. So for those of you that this applies to, take what resonates and leave the rest on the floor, okay? If this don't apply to you, you know what I'm saying, you can fast forward, or you can sit through it and wait till we get to what resonates more with you. Howsoever, those of you who work corporate jobs, legal jobs, political jobs of any sort, those are the specifics that I'm picking up on. Oh, I just heard call center. Okay, I just heard call center jobs, things of that nature. There are people in authority that are essentially beefing amongst each other. And certain things that are being said that are involving gossip or like nitpicking rules and enforcements and things of that nature. And it may not even seem to have anything to do with the it may seemingly have nothing to do with the solar eclipse, but this is something that the solar eclipse is bringing out of them, because there's just a lot going on in general and a lot being said in general. And some people could be being influenced by the things that are being said surrounding the solar eclipse. Okay, so just keep up with me. But basically, there's beefage going on amongst people that are in authority, at some of you all's jobs, and it's causing them to enforce certain things or say certain things that seem like threats to certain people's jobs, maybe even your job. Threats concerning certain rules getting more strict, new rules coming into play, things of that nature. And this is with the intent to pick people off, to run people off, to get people fired and laid off, because it's a whole lot of fear mongering going on in general, whereas people are being crabs in a bucket, if you will, and functioning in a get you before you get me type of mindset, or get you before they get me type of mindset, scratching for the top. And all of this is also happening. One, it's like certain people in authority pointing fingers when they are actually the villain, or everybody is wrong and just don't want to take accountability. And then there's another side of this where, for some of you, this is happening for you to question authority, for people who are not in positions of authority to take authority by asking questions that need to be asked in order for certain answers to just fall out of the bag. Whether the individuals answer truthfully or not, you and others simply asking questions and starting certain conversations will inevitably kick off the domino effect of certain truths just coming out, so that whoever the problem children, quote unquote, are, they can go ahead and be exposed and gotten the fuck on up out of there. And for some of you, this is happening for you to leave your job, for you to make the decision to go ahead and leave your job and go work somewhere else, and or start a business of your own and become your own authority, and essentially use the things that you learn from that job to be a better leader. Now, those of you that did not resonate with, you can go ahead and tap back in, okay? And we're tapping back in into the King of Swords, which is also a card of discipline. It's also a card of authority, influence, and communication. So, with that being said, this kind of like continues on the message of the Emperor, where certain people in positions of authority are meant to be questioned. What's also happening here is people trying to make other people question themselves. And also, for instance, one of my friends made a post today about certain Christians fear mongering about the eclipse, when that's a contradiction, because people who are diehard Christian or whatever, a lot of the times claim to not believe or indulge in astrology at all. You see what I'm saying? So Spirit is saying that there are certain things that are being said and done by certain people that is meant to have you look at them like, huh? You contradicting yourself. Your words and your actions are not matching. Okay? So basically, Spirit is saying, even though people may be fear mongering with ill intent and or just mindlessly, use this to go within and consult with yourself and make your own decision about how you need to respond to everything and go about everything and prepare for everything. Okay? There's an element of this too where Spirit is simply saying that, like, one of the purposes of this solar eclipse that is coming is for people to get more self-discipline and self-control over themselves and their own healing and their own goals and seeking and accomplishing happiness and all of that. However, there are people in positions of authority across the board. So, like I said, this could be people who are in positions of authority at jobs, parents, preachers, priestess, priest, prophets, political people, things of that nature, media people who have, positions of authority in their media corporation, all of that. There are people, and also people in positions of authority as it concerns businesses as well. There are people in authority across the board that are fear mongering for the purpose of controlling others. Because the more you scare someone or intimidate somebody else, if it sets in with them, it makes them easier to control. So beware of that, because there's an element of this, and specifically as it concerns, now these cards that I'm about to mention, they are not present here in the layout that I have on the video, but they are present next to me as I pulled them for elaborations on these cards, just to get some extra information, make sure I wasn't missing nothing, all that. And the cards that we have here are the Queen of Pentacles, the Strength card sideways, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And this is people fear mongering because they have noticed the trend over the past couple of years, especially as it concerned the lockdown, okay, the panini, if you will, all right, the 2020 panini. As it concerns that, they noticed that the more fear was mongered and the more panic that happened, more people bulk buyed, meaning they spent more money. Okay? So, yeah, emphasis on people in authority with businesses taking advantage of fear mongering so that they can get you to spend your money. So this can be people who own grocery stores, people who also do, certain people who do spiritual work, using the solar eclipse and the fear mongering of it all to trigger people to spend money. And God is going to handle them, okay? God is going to handle them. And that's also why there is emphasis on there needing to be a conscious effort to go within and consult with self to figure out what you need to do as an individual to prepare for yourself. And make sure that you have self-control of yourself, because the more self-control you have, the harder it is for someone else's bullshit to influence you and steer you and turn you every which way but loose type shit. Okay? And again, especially being the fact that this card consists of mostly blue, the dishonesty going on in the midst will be revealed, and will likely be revealed through the solar eclipse, okay? And we're going to go ahead and segue into the Seven of Cups that is here sideways, as it also correlates with the elaboration cards, which again are the Queen of Pentacles, the Strength card sideways, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Because again, when people fearmonger and still fear in you, it makes you easier to control. And there are certain people that want to stop others in their tracks. They want to kill the morale, your morale. They want to kill your motivation. They want to make you feel like there's no point in starting your business. There's no point in taking action on your goals. There's no point in waking up in the morning and going on and doing what you got to do. There's no point in enjoying life. They want to put that out in the air to stop people from interfering with their own dark agenda, and or to stop people from interfering with their comfort in chaos. Because there are just, of course, people in this world that have all the potential in the world, but none of the will to bring that potential into its fullness and fulfill their own divine purpose. So when they see that other people have been gaining more motivation and more drive for themselves to fulfill their divine purposes, because they don't want to have self-control and like I said, they don't have the will to bloom their own potential, they want to stop others from doing it because other people uplifting themselves essentially makes them feel bad. Okay, so that's a large part of why this Seven of Cups is here sideways in correlation with the elaboration cards, explaining why certain people are fear mongering, because they are trying to kill the confidence. They are trying to bring the motivational energy down and have people thinking negative about themselves, negative about their goals, and negative about the world and things that are to come. Because there are a lot of good things that this solar eclipse is about to bring forth. And there will be some challenges, but it ain't all that extra that people are putting on it. And like I said, this has a lot to do, especially with the Emperor card being here and the King of Swords card being here. This has a lot to do with people in authority across the board spreading negative misinformation to keep people who they want to be beneath them and or on the same playing field with them. I'm hearing hierarchy now. And Spirit is giving me the message that, certain higher up people in authority, politicians, rich people, if you call them what they call one percenters, a lot of them are fearing those that are at the quote unquote bottom rising up, because they fear that they will have to either share what they have and or that will cause them to lose what they have. So this is people having a lack mentality. They may have a lot in quantity, but they have a lack mentality, and therefore they don't believe that everybody can fit at the table. They don't believe that there's room for everybody to be able to eat and live a comfortable, happy life type shit, and then some. Because like I said, lack mentality, they think that if somebody else rises up, that means that they have to fall, and essentially they're doing themselves a disservice because they're compromising their own karma. So to wrap this up so that we can hop into the part 3, which will give more indication on how to respond to all of this, the best ways to respond to all of this fear mongering, and how to prep for the solar eclipse and what to expect after it and all this, that, and the third. Just to wrap up on this, all in all, Spirit is saying that people are out here in high places and some in like stagnant places, and because they are thinking less of themselves and therefore less of the world, misery loves company type shit, and they want to bring everybody down with them. And then there are others that want to control other people because they lack self-control. They just overall have a lack mentality and are misdirecting their energy onto other people to cause chaos, division, and stagnancy. So the moral of the story is here: self-control and self-awareness is a virtue. All right? Now, with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I'm thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for part 3 of this solar eclipse reading, honey. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you all light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.